Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Tyler Merkovich with Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and this is your 2010 Big East Conference preview. Let's start out with the Cincinnati Bearcats 12-0 regular season last year until they got thrashed by Florida in the Sugar Bowl. Brian Kelly is out. Butch Jones is in. We saw what Zach Collaros could do last year at quarterback when he filled in for the injured Tony Pike. And there's a lot to talk about on that offense with the receivers. Vital Hazelton is eligible this year to transfer from SC, and Isaiah Peed, top running back in the Big East, one of them.
Well, Zach Collaros has a unique opportunity to come in behind a veteran offensive line. The interior offensive line is a strength. You look at Kelsey and Hoffman; those guys guard to guard. That's going to be help. That's going to help out that passing game a lot. Collaros has, the vast amount of weapons. You mentioned Peed, outstanding running back. They're going to give him the rock a little bit more this year, lean on him a little bit. You mentioned Hazelton. You got Benz also coming in. So that offense is set. Collaros is a veteran quarterback. He actually may be better than Tony Pike.
Defensively, they're starting a lot of sophomores, which is a problem, and they're transitioning from a 3-4 defense to a 4-3. So this is going to be the key. Can they get enough stops? Because they could put up 28, 30 points a game. Defensively, that was a question mark.
Well, defensively, they're moving to the 4-3, which may put their defensive ends at a risk because they're a bit smaller. You look at Dan Giordano, 6'4", 246. You also look at Brandon Mills at 5'10", 266. So those DNs are going to have to be able to hold up at the point of attack. But you look at defensive tackle Derek Wolfe, that guy's a stud. He's a big nose tackle. That's going to help out the defense a lot. It's going to free up a lot of one-on-one opportunities for those ends, and they may not have to be as physical as at the start of the game. But as he gets his recruits in, he's going to recruit more bigger defensive ends. But right now, transition is going to be smallest up front. And you look at Dominic Battle, athletic cornerback, leads an athletic secondary. That's going to help out a lot because if you can get pressure, they're going to fly around and make a lot of plays on the ball.
And for the UConn Huskies, coming off an 8-5 year where they defeated South Carolina in the PapaJohns.com Bowl as big underdogs, and they rebounded brilliantly, winning their last 4. Of course, the tragedy felt after Jasper Howard was killed on campus. Randy Edsall, though, he's an unbelievable coach. I love this guy. And Zach Frazier, he's coming back to quarterback his senior year. This guy has a chance to lead a pretty good team because they got a good defense and a good running game led by Jordan Todman.
Well, you look at Todman, he's over 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns on the ground. So that's going to help out the quarterback a lot. All he has to do is turn the hand the ball off. And they have the best offensive line in the Big East. Everyone across the board averages 6'5", 330. They're led by the talented tackle, all Big East, Zach Hurd, all Big East player. So across the board, the best O-line, 6'5", 330, like I mentioned, that's going to help out that offensive unit a lot because all they can do is run the ball, grind teams out, and they can operate off play action and passing.
And their wide receivers are very inexperienced last year, but Kashif Moore and Isaiah Moore have more experience. Michael Smith will be coming as a receiver, but I like their power positions. Tight end Ryan Griffin's a beast, and fullback Anthony Sherman. So this could be an underrated unit on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, defensive ends Greg Lloyd. Of course, we know what his dad did in the NFL. Trevardo Williams played as a true freshman. Those are good defensive ends. But Scott Lutris was a Big East, all Big East performer 2 years ago, and Lawrence Wilson, 2 linebackers here. This could be their strong suit. Last in the Big East in pass defense, but I think they got that front 7 that can put the pressure on and help those defensive back.
Well, you mentioned it, and you look at each level of defense. You got Lloyd at the end, Wilson at linebacker, and Wilson also at cornerback. So every level of defense has a talented playmaker. So that's going to be key because you need at least one playmaker at every level, and that's going to help all the defense a lot. Also, I like the fact that there's a lot of youth in that secondary, which could prove to be good because when you're young, you want to fly around the football, and you're not too worried about making mistakes. You just fly into the football fast. That may help out a lot while they're going to generate pass rush. Those secondary players might get their hands on a lot of interceptions.
For the Louisville Cardinals, coming off a 4-8 year, a disastrous 3 years by Steve Crackthorpe leads to the defensive coordinator from Florida coming over, Charlie Strong. A lot of hopefuls in Louisville. Quarterback situation, Adam Froman looks like the front runner, but Justin Burke will battle him. I like what they have at running back. Victor Anderson is there, but Darius Ashley was a true freshman last year, and he shined because he's a burner.
Well, I look at the quarterback position again. That is the biggest question mark on their football team. But I like to keep an eye on true freshman Dominic Brown, highly touted recruit. He may get some ticks because the other quarterbacks they're proven, but they wasn't as good as if you're going to struggle with veteran quarterbacks, you might as well toss the freshman in there and struggle with him because he's going to be there longer. So I like Dominique Brown, the true freshman quarterback, to possibly push for that starting spot. And you look at the running game, Victor Anderson, outstanding running back, has to stay healthy, but they have some depth behind him. So that's the bright spot on that offensive football team is the running back position. You look at the wide receivers, they do have Chichester, big 6'9" guy, but he has a case of the dropsies. And they also have the talented wide receiver in Beaumont, over 100 catches, but he doesn't score a touchdown. So you kind of at like the gift and the curse. You have a big tall guy that can't catch and a guy that can catch everything but can't get in the end zone. So they have to get all that going together, and that offensive line is a huge question mark for Louisville.
Well, you know they're going to come with a scrappy defense with Strong at the helm. Linebacker Antoine Kennedy and cornerback Johnny Patrick are two bright spots on the Cardinals' defensive side of the ball.
Well, I like Johnny Patrick. That guy is a tremendous cornerback. They're smallish on defense, but they make up with that size with a lot of speed. So especially a linebacker, they have a lot of speed at linebacker. So they're going to make a lot of plays just running to the football. And you know, Strong stresses get to the football. All 11 players fly to the pigskin. That's going to help other defense make plays and keep themselves in the game a little bit.
Pitt Panthers, expectations are through the roof, but still fresh in their mind is that devastating loss to Cincinnati, the last game of the year that could have sent them to the BCS bowl game. And at least they rebounded. They beat North Carolina in the Meineke Car Care Bowl. But maybe the story of the year in the Big East was true freshman Dion Lewis's performance. 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, conference offensive player of the year, and of course rookie of the year. So this guy's coming back, and they love to run the ball, but they also got a big receiver in Jonathan Baldwin, who is a great pro prospect.
Well, you look at Baldwin, 6'5", 220 pounds. So that means quarterback Tino Sinceri is going to come in. All you have to do is turn around, hand the ball up to Lewis, and toss the ball to Baldwin, and that's going to help out him a lot as he gets acclimated to the system, acclimated to college football, true sophomore. So that's going to help out tremendously, especially behind a nice offensive line that Pitt loves. That you build with Weinstein, he builds both offensive and defensive line. So that offensive line is going to help out quarterback, and Deion Lewis is going to get his yards, and Baldwin's going to get free in that secondary.
Defensive side of the ball, they led the nation with 47 sacks, thanks to a great pair of defensive ends, just like UConn, except Greg Romeus and Jabal Sheard are very prominent. They're going to be in the NFL one day. Linebacker tradition, they got sophomore Dan Mason coming in. Their secondary play is what will be the wild card. Can they get enough stops through the air?
Well, I look at the two talented safeties they have, DeCiccio as well as Howley. Those two outstanding safeties are going to help protect those young cornerbacks. The cornerback's going to be able to be physical because you have great safety help. Now, all that is predicated on the front four. They're going to get after the quarterback. Romeus is going to get after the QB, put him on the ground, force errant throws is going to help out those cornerbacks be in position to make interceptions, and the safety is going to clean up the mess. So I think the secondary may be tied to the front four for the Pitt Panthers.